What is up, everyone? I was actually trying to stall this out a little bit because it's storming outside, and like storming as in like lightning and thunder, not just rain. So I get a little paranoid about the fact that like there might be a blackout or something, and I hope that there isn't because these are like live. Whatchamacallit, like I don't edit these in any way, so I would hate for like be in the middle of recording, and then my computer and everything shuts off, and it's like, man, now I gotta do this all over again. I'm actually really glad that I got my grocery shopping done early too, because man, this storm. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but it is bad out there, and it was even worse earlier. It sounded like a hurricane. Last thing I need is one of those. If this was edited, there would be a former Louisianian somewhere. Oh wait, no, native Louisianian, because I was born there. All right, so all right, just to get this started real quick. The other day at my job, you know what I'm saying, I sweep up the parking. I hope to God that that's not too loud. I sweep up the parking lot at my job, and every so often, I come across a diaper. You know, and back then, like being a former homeless person myself, as you can obviously tell from my face, that it's like I understand that being home, like with some people being homeless is kind of like a death sentence, and you kind of have to do things in a certain way. But a lot of times, I don't get it. Like I can understand that, like you really need to change your kit, but it feels like this is like planned or like pinpointed or targeted or something, because it's almost always in the same spot around the same time around the same couple of days. And I should know because I work the same couple of days. I sweep up that same spot, get this. I'm not even gonna say if it's the same diaper or not, but it's like, you have any idea how weird it is to like, it's like late at night, you're a kid, obviously, drop the deuce or whatever, and the first thing you say is, okay, I gotta wait till I go over to Olive Garden real quick so I can drop this diaper off, when there's literally changing stations in every bathroom. Like, there's a changing station in that Olive Garden. There's a great chance that like you could, you could just go inside the Olive Garden, or you could just go anywhere for that matter, change your kid, maybe put the diaper in a proper trash can instead of on a parking lot somewhere, and just it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to just do regularly. Like I can understand, like and part of me likes to think that like it's just a disgruntled former worker, and then that's just kind of like their revenge or whatever. That they just get their kid, they drop one, they drop one off in the parking lot, and go sweep that up, losers. I don't know, but it's weird, you know. There's a lot of weird things. There's a lot of weird things in the world, and that's one of the weird ones. It's just always in the same spot. It's kind of like back in the day when I used to find like one shoe in a parking lot. Like, where's the other shoe? But that's neither here nor there. I think I've said before. As far as the Roe v. Wade, you know, as far as Roe v. Wade getting overturned is concerned, as a man who doesn't want to have children, I'm just not like. It just sounds like it sounds like both pregnancy and parenthood just sounds like a living hell. And I would rather like not ever have to deal with that. So on the good, like one thing about me is that like Supreme Court, I mean the Supreme Court didn't say I have to impregnate somebody, so I'm not going to until they do, and then I'll just get killed or go to jail for it, whatever. But I'm not doing that. Also, this shirt has absolutely no relevance to the episode at all. I'm not a religious person. I got this from my cousin when I was living in California, and I was like, I needed a shirt. He just gave me one, and this was it. Uh, I'm not even, like I said, I don't do religion. I don't do religion at all. It is not like And like the big reason why I don't do religion is because first off, it's too complicated. Like like there's just too like when I was a kid growing up, one of the things that they used to do for religion was like they would incorporate it in the TV shows, and it'll be like there'll always be like this person who is like undergoing some sort of I don't know some sort of trial or tribulation or whatever, and then they pray to God, and at the very last minute, something happens that benefits them in some fashion, you know. And then one day I decided to do the same thing while I was getting picked on in school, and I was still getting picked on in school. So it's like, wait, how come you helped out the kids in the TV but not me? What the heck's going on? Like that was definitely one of the moments where I started questioning my faith, because it's like the way that people would promote God was like a personal genie that would help you out if they liked you enough, and like I didn't get what I wanted, so I started questioning. That's how the questioning initially started. That's how it initially started anyway. It only got like more intense the older I got, because then I was like, wait a minute, let me see if I got this right. He impregnated somebody's wife. I'm supposed to like this guy, you know. So yeah, I don't really do the whole religion thing, but I do. When I can't get a shirt, I will get a shirt. And shout out to my religious friends out there, because I do like I don't knock the religion. I don't say religion is terrible, blah 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 blah. I don't do that because I believe that religion is just basically science for people of the past, because back in the day people needed answers to questions, and the best way to answer questions was with stories back then. Because like people didn't know what protons, neutrons, cold fusion, people didn't know what math was in those times. People wasn't like, what's that thing up in the sky? Because somebody was like, that's something to worship, man. That thing gives us power. If you make it mad, it'll kill you. And people will be like, oh wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense. It was things like that, I assume. Anyway, I don't know history enough to know specifically if that's the case, but I do like to assume things. But yeah, I don't do religion. It's definitely not my bag. um but I won't knock it. You know what I'm saying? If you're using religion to be a decent human being, I can't knock you for being a religious person. Is when people use religion to be the most terrible person that they can be. That's when I, tend to look at it as a, why did you have to do religion? Why did you have to be religious to do these terrible things? You could just leave religion out of it and just be terrible. Because it's like, if God is a being of ultimate good and you're doing bad things in the name of God, then that doesn't make the religion bad. It just makes you bad. You know? It's like, yeah, but religion also motivates blah, 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 blah. It's like the Bible was also written by old dudes who thought that, like marrying children that was like 14 years old was a good idea. I mean, time to realize that maybe it's not that big of a thing. I will say this though, I'm not a fan of abortion. I'm not. The Roe v. Wade thing does actually, but I will say that I'm annoyed about the Roe v. Wade discussion, Roe v. Wade getting overturned, because while I myself don't like abortion, I don't like the idea that me not liking it should be something that everybody else should have to deal with. All I know is that like I don't like abortion, so I'm not gonna go out and knock up a woman that doesn't want to have a child. And I feel like that's like, as far as dating and sexual romantic encounter is concerned, I feel like these are the questions that people should be asking each other at the beginning of the date. People should be saying, so if we seal the deal and you end up, with child, what would you do? Would you want us to raise it together, or are you trying to, you know what I mean? I feel like that was a question that people should be asking, rather than try to make it into a federal thing that women should have the kid. Because I said this before, people don't know specifically how cruel a parent can be to a kid that they never wanted. Like, people really don't take that into consideration. you know, and adoption, like adoptions are usually kind of faulty. Like we really there's a whole, like, if we're gonna try to force these kids to be here, we need to like fix up on a lot of things, like childcare, education, the adoption system, abuse and trauma places where you can go to. Mental health needs to be a really big priority, because you're gonna have a lot of kids being raised by a lot of parents that are going to be this close to wanting to kill them because they couldn't back then. Um, Moving on to something light, I am currently reading a comic called Superbia, and Superbia is basically that's like just some sort of edgy remake of the Justice League and the Avengers mixed up together, but it's a story about like the spouses and the people that are like dating them, and it's okay. Like I think I hate edgy redos when it comes to like hero series, because it's obvious that the writers hate superheroes, so they always want to like make them out to be the most terrible people that they can like write on. So it's like you got the Superman clone who is clearly power hungry. You have the Batman clone who is like cheating on his wife with his sidekick, and you got like it's just like it's obvious where they were gonna go with this. And it's like, what else? I don't care. I find the hero hatred annoying, because like now at this point, I feel like fans and writers are starting to just blatantly ignore the fact that villains even exist, because all they want to do is just say the hero is a bad guy. They should be the ones getting punched in the face, while the guy who is purse snatching or dealing drugs or hurting people or genuinely harming people because they enjoy doing it should like not have any kind of heroic intervention, in their day, because the heroes need to get beaten up by other heroes. I don't like where writing is going, and that's kind of why I tend to avoid it a little bit. But I do still like reading comics. I do like reading stories. So I'm trying to just sort of dig deep and find the ones that I like, because I mean there's still some decent out there. I like to think anyway. This has been going on for too long. I'm going to cut it off here. Love, peace, and happiness to everyone out there. And can jokes be funny without being hurtful? Is that a thing? Can that happen now?